I've been playing the Mega Man games for a very, very long time. As far back as I can remember, back on the NES days, this franchise has been kind of a staple for me for a long time because of that. The Mega Man X games have been some of my favorite games that I've played, and it's kind of odd that I never got around to playing Mega Man Legends. Didn't matter if it was the PS1 version or the N64, which was called Mega Man 64. I just never picked these games up. I remember seeing advertisements for them. I remember looking at strategy guides for these games, but I never played them myself. And then over time, these games just got really expensive, and I never picked it up. I did one time buy them for really cheap, but then I had to sell the games because we needed money to be able to move. But since then, I've never picked them up and I've never played them. But since I'm going through my backlog of games, I figured, now's a good time to be able to play the Mega Man Legends games. So I did. I played Mega Man Legends for the very first time on live stream. And my God, that was a mission. Welcome back, everybody. This is Goshen from Goshen's Games, and I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe. We're going to talk about Mega Man Legends and why this is now a game that I never want to play again in my entire life. See, Mega Man games have typically been side-scroller platformers and, having some strategy in them here and there with the different not elements, but the different weapons that you can get to be able to attack the enemies or to kill the bosses faster. Mega Man Legends doesn't follow that formula at all. Like, at all. Mega Man Legends is vastly different, adopting more of an RPG element and a intertwined story, but it's kind of weird the way that it does this. And the story, honestly, if you want to talk about like anime tropes, this game follows the anime trope story. You have the main protagonist, which is Mega Man Volnut. You have Roll, his assistant, and Data, his monkey assistant, who saves Data for him. Roll upgrades your equipment. She helps you traverse through fast travel with the car, and that's pretty much it. Then you have the antagonists, but they're more mischievous antagonists. Think Team Rocket from Pokemon. The Bonds, Tron Bond, and is that her father? I don't know if that's her father. The dude, he's got big hair. They seem more whimsical than villains. So I would just probably label them as just whimsical antagonists. Again, think Team Rocket from Pokemon, who aren't really like villains. They're just kind of there. And that's how I feel about most of this game. Like, these characters pop up at different points, and they're just there, like, to cause mischief, to cause mayhem. Nothing really like, oh, they're gonna, like, murder me, or they're going to take over the world. They just want money. Like, that's all they want. They just want money. Again, Team Rocket. I feel like the writers for Mega Man Legends were Pokemon fans, and they're like, I like Team Rocket. They're not annoying at all, popping up in every single episode for no apparent reason. Let's put them in our game, but call them something else. And that's what we get with Mega Man Legends. Until you get to, like, almost the very end of the game. And then at the very end of the game, it does the most anime twist of all, where it's like, oh, well, there's a murder robot who is going to basically destroy all of humanity to reset the world. What? And then so it's up to Mega Man to stop this from happening and to allow humanity to continue on. Where this twist came from was completely out of left field and is honestly in like the last hour of this game. And I just felt so blindsided by this. I was like, hold on. Time out here. Time out. We went from whimsical to everyone's gonna die. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's very weirdly written, and I mean, I don't know what I expected out of a 10-hour RPG in the PS1 days. I mean, again, we've got games like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, Tactics, um, Xenogears. You know, like we had very intricate storytelling RPGs, and then we have this one here, which is like, okay, Team Rocket, and now we're gonna decimate the world with one enemy, who honestly isn't really like an enemy. It's more like this robot was just programmed that way to reset humanity once it wakes up. And inadvertently, this enemy woke up early because of what Megaman was doing. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. If you guys want to chime in with this story to kind of like not explain it, I understood the story, but to, I don't know. Leave your comments down below with that one. The combat is um it's there. I mean, so you have your main buster, and then you have your sub weapon. You can only equip one sub weapon at a time, and you have to go back to roll to be able to change your sub weapon. On top of that, you can upgrade your main buster, and you can upgrade your sub weapons. But honestly, I only ever used my main buster. Like, there was a few times where I may have used a sub weapon, like the mines, for example, that you get in the beginning of the game, because the mines were more powerful than your Mega Buster or your Buster. It's not a Mega Buster. Mega Buster is in Mega Man X. But you know, the Buster gets more powerful after a period of time, and then on top of that, the sub weapons typically take a little bit longer to shoot. So because of that, I just stuck with the Buster the entire time. Like, even fighting the final boss with just the Buster and never using my sub weapon, which is supposed to be more powerful than my Mega Buster, but I didn't rank it up. And honestly, the boss didn't give me time to just plant my feet and shoot my secondary weapon. You know, so it's kind of a weird combat system, and the controls don't help it one bit. I found myself fighting the controls more than anything else in this game. More than fighting the enemies, more than fighting the bosses. It just, the controls, honestly, the controls were the things that made me die the most in this game. You cannot, because well, I mean, it's not really an early PS1 game, but because it's early enough in a PS1 game, it doesn't let you move the camera freely. You kind of have to hold the L1 and the R1, and the camera moves very slowly. And if you want to kind of pivot Mega Man properly, you have to have him stand still. Unless you're like in a big arena, and then you can hold the L and the R buttons to move Mega Man and the camera at the same time. It's a very, very weird system. It's a very slow camera. And again, coming off of other RPGs where you can move the camera a little bit more freely as you explore, this one is just a little jank. We also have like a lock-on feature, but the lock-on feature isn't really good. Basically, the lock-on feature, you have to use it when you're not moving. If you're moving, it won't lock onto the enemy. It'll just reposition your camera in front of you. But if you are standing still, you can lock onto the enemy. But you can see why this would be a problem, considering how the enemies are constantly shooting at you. And when you get to boss fights, making a lock-on feature that isn't really quite a good lock-on feature like this, it causes problems. You have boss fights where you're targeting multiple things at one point, and whichever thing is closest to you, that's what you're going to target. So if you're targeting the boss and all of a sudden a different enemy pops up that's closer, the targeting is going to automatically go to that closer enemy. And it's like, dude, I'm trying to kill the boss here, not kill the little add-ons and the minions or whatever. Like, just, I'm focusing strictly on the main boss. Why can't I just stay on this main boss and just target this one? You know, it just causes issues like that. And again, like on the final boss, when you're going and you're trying to target the final boss, you have to kind of stand still to be able to target it if you want to do the lock-on feature, which I don't like. Thankfully, there is kind of a little bit of a auto target, but it's not. It's only like auto target if you're just slightly aimed at the enemy, right? So like if you're looking somewhere else, but you're slightly aimed at the enemy and you fire your buster, it'll go towards the enemy. But it's not reliable enough to be able to rely on it. Like, it just, the whole combat system is kind of jank in this game, and I really wish that there was some sort of better targeting feature. This is a game that I feel like if they remastered it, they could fix all of these issues that I have with this game. They could fix the camera movements. They could adopt it to modern controls. They could fix the targeting system and put a proper target lock-on feature. I think that would be very beneficial for this, and maybe one day they will do a remaster of this game. I just feel like Capcom sleeps on Mega Man and doesn't really do much with it anymore, and which is very disappointing because again, I love the Mega Man franchise. Honestly, this is a game I won't ever touch again. I played through it, and it was much shorter than what I thought it would be. I'm here thinking that the game was like a 20-hour game, and I'm glad that it wasn't because of the problems that I had with it. I'm glad that it was less than 10 hours. I beat it in 9 hours. And in those 9 hours, I mean, I had a somewhat decent time, but I had a very frustrating time playing through this Mega Man game. I know that there's a big fan base out for it, but I really don't. I don't like it. I really don't. Like, I like the older Mega Man games. I like the Mega Man X games with the exception of X8 or 7 and 8. Um, but to play this was very weird. It was very. I don't know. I just didn't really enjoy myself enough to ever want to touch this game again, and maybe even so much so that like I don't want to play Mega Man Legends 2. But if you guys think I should play Mega Man Legends 2, please let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions, especially if you are Mega Man Legends fans. I want to hear from you guys because you guys are the ones that are going to maybe convince me to play Legends 2. Maybe it is better. Maybe I should give it a chance. But I really can't say at the moment. I really can't. But I did mark another game off of my backlog, so that was nice. And thank you guys for watching and listening to me kind of rant and ramble here for a second. I kind of did a little mini review on Mega Man Legends. Um, I don't know. Convince me in the comment section to play Legends 2. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.